Thanks for joining us, coach. We have the Sri Lankan coach, Mr. Chris Silverwood here. We'll take questions from journalists who are present here. And there are some who have joined remotely. If they have questions, we'll then move to them.
No problem.
Thank you. With the rest.
Chris, it's been a while since you got a victory under your belt in Australia. How does it feel?
It feels good. It does feel good. Obviously, winning always feels much better than losing. But it was nice for us to turn up today and put in a good performance. Obviously, there's always going to be areas we can improve on, and we will look to do that in the debrief and come back stronger. But I thought the way that we applied ourselves in the field and the way that the bowlers went about their business today was superb. And obviously, Papham at the top of the order, played a real sort of match-winning knock there. And he should be very proud of himself for what he's done, and obviously help the team across the line.
Dushman, the Chamira towards the end, is it a bit of a concern?
Yeah, obviously we need to keep an eye on him. So the medical team will be watching him overnight and then potentially having a scan tomorrow. And we'll sort of make a plan from there, really. But let's get all the information in first and find out exactly where we're at, and then we'll have to make a plan.
Coach, after the Namibia-Netherlands game, was there any chat surrounding the net run rate? And if so, can you elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we're always looking at things, obviously like the run rate and everything else and all the technicalities that go with the game. I think the most important thing was that we turned up and we made an impact on this game. And first and foremost, we won the game. And then obviously look to do it in style as well, which the guys have tonight. And obviously it's helped us massively.
Yeah, and any thoughts about the number 4 spot? Again, we saw a duck from Lanka who replaced Gunatilaka, who got a duck in the previous game. Anything on that?
Yeah, it's again something that we'll have to look at. I'll sit with my coaching staff and have a chat with them. But it's certainly we could do with some runs coming at that position. It's not through lack of trying, and it's not through lack of application in training. The boys are training really hard, but it is a concern that we'd like to get some runs out of that position.
Chris, on that middle order, how much is the sort of compromise prep with the washout and the difficult surfaces here in terms of getting started, playing a part on that front for those guys in the middle there?
I think certainly the temperatures we're experiencing, the boys are not used to. So I do feel from on that front, it's certainly not Colombo here. I mean, even I'm cold, so it says a little bit. But it's obviously you can't help but wash out. I think the preparation that we were given and the facilities and the help we were given, having arrived early, was superb. So I can't fault any of that. The boys have prepped for the best we possibly can. We had a good camp out in Kandy before we actually got on an airplane and flew here. So we've made the best of what we've had, really. The boys have had some good practice.
They've been difficult tracks, though, to get started. How hard has it been for the guys to adjust out there?
Yeah, I think we adjusted pretty well today. Certainly in the first game, we didn't read the conditions particularly well, and we certainly didn't adapt to them. So there's no hiding from that, and it's certainly something that we spoke about in the debrief quite honestly. And they face the facts, and they've come out today and obviously applied themselves much better on this track. The track was a little bit slow. We saw that if the bowlers banged a hard length, it was very difficult to get that away. So we had to be patient, we had to build innings, and we had to build partnerships. And for the majority of today, we did that.
And just back on Chamira, is it a calf issue he's got?
It is.
Thank you.
Any other questions from those here? Okay, we have Pranavesh joining remotely. Pranavesh, please go ahead with your question, please.
Sure. Hello, Chris. How confident are you in Sri Lanka qualifying to the Super 12?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that question.
Yeah. How confident are you in Sri Lanka qualifying for the Super 12?
I'm always confident. I'm the eternal optimist. So I will always we'll always be looking to win and obviously progress. So I'm confident in the boys' ability. But at the same time, we have to make sure we turn up and we put a performance in like we did tonight, because as we've seen, these teams here are dangerous. And we've got to make sure that we give them the respect that they deserve and come out fighting.
Also, when Dasun went to face a hat-trick ball and when he became a victim, what was running in your mind?
Sorry, it's a really...
yeah. Yeah, once more, when Dasun went to face the hat-trick ball and when he became a victim of it, what was running in your mind?
Well, I mean, firstly, well bowled to the young man. I think, I mean, for anybody to get a hat trick in the World Cup is absolutely fantastic, and I'm sure it's something he'll remember forever. I mean, it's just unfortunate that Dasson was sort of part of that hat trick, but we knew that we had people that could go in and bat. We knew we had a decent foundation to work from, and we knew that anything sort of above 140 would be a decent score, having watched the first game.
Thank you.
Another question remotely. Charit, please go ahead with your question.
Yes. So, Chris, there was a late collapse in the batting order today after Dhananjit Silva got out. So, what kind of advice did you and the supporting staff give to the boys when they came out to bowl out?
It was very simple, really. Obviously, having experienced the first game here and watching the game before us, we knew we had to build partnerships. We knew that it wasn't going to be easy to go out there and just strike the ball from from a get-go, and we had to earn the right to score runs on here. Equally, listening to the commentary and listening to the feedback that was coming off the field in that first game, we knew that 140 would be a competitive score. So that was the initial aim. And then obviously anything above that would be good. But I think first and foremost, we had to get ourselves in, be patient at times and build partnerships. And I mean, if you do that, then you give yourself an opportunity to put a decent score on the board.
No other questions I see. So I think that will be it. Thanks a lot.
No, my pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, Rex, another question, please. Yeah.
Chris, seems like Dhanush was carrying some sort of hamstring injury. If it is sort of serious and if he is ruled out of the World Cup, have you thought of getting a replacement?
We're always thinking at the moment. But again, I mean, we'll have more information once people have had that scan and we'll start making decisions from there. I think it's just a little bit too early to start thinking until we have all the information that's relevant in front of us. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.